Hey, this is your 60 Seconds of Stephen, where I bring you Stephen King facts and trivia in 60 seconds or less. This time might be in a bit of a longer one. I wanted to go into a little bit more details about the Stanley Hotel, the inspiration for the Overlook Hotel in Stephen King's The Shining. And again, this is the miniseries he did in the 90s that was actually filmed on the hotel properties. So if you watch this, you actually do get a chance to see the hotel. Or if you're ever in Estes Park, Colorado, I recommend checking it out. Now, it's actually not far from Boulder, Colorado. So if you're a Stephen King fan, you get a 2-for-1 special. You can go and visit out Boulder, the Colorado Boulder Free Zone, and then go and see the Stanley or Overlook Hotel, as it may be. Now, interestingly enough, when the movie was made, the room number from 217 was changed to 237 because the hotel where they actually filmed it at in Oregon, the original movie, in Oregon, had a room 217 and they didn't want the association with it, so they switched it to 237 so it won't have that issue. Whereas the Stanley kind of went the opposite route. They have a 217, that's where the room is supposed to be haunted, and they've really kind of hyped that up, and I just kind of love that. It was built by the guy, he's the co-founder of the Stanley Motor Company, or Carriage Company. So I thought that was kind of cool. One of the first car companies, and he helped build the Stanley Hotel. One of the reasons is he was suffering from tuberculosis, and he had to get to a better altitude for his health, and so why not have a hotel there? Now, interestingly enough, from what I can tell, I did get to stay there a few years back. Wonderful experience. It's very cool. I don't know how haunted it really is. I didn't really see anything or experience anything haunted there. But interestingly enough, the story of room 217, nobody ever actually died in that room. The issue was there was an explosion in 1911 and a maid was in that room, and she actually got blown out of that room from the second floor on down to the first floor, and had like a broken ankle. And so she never actually passed away. She lived for like 60 more years and continued to work. And there was some interesting things about that, as well as there was some confusion on her name. Some articles had her report it as, I believe, the last name Wilson. Other articles had it with a different last name. So there was a little bit of confusion on that. So I'm not sure what the correct last name is for the maid. Although everyone can agree there was an explosion and the maid did survive. And that's kind of the only thing that really happened in room 217. But room 217 just happened to be the room that Stephen King was staying in when he had the nightmare that inspired him to come up with The Shining. Now, also interestingly enough, since 2023, there has been a Frozen Dead Guy exhibit there. They turned the hotel's old ice house into the International Cryogenics Museum. And there's apparently a famous frozen body who's been cryogenically frozen. I'm not sure the name. You'll have to look it up or go visit yourself. But apparently he's been frozen. He's been moved to this as his new permanent location in the museum. And so now literally there's a Frozen Dead Guy on the grounds of the Stanley at all times. So kind of interesting, especially considering the way the original movie ended with a frozen Jack in the woods. So I think that's kind of cool there. So anyway, that is some information about the Stanley Hotel. If you are ever in Estes Park, Colorado, I highly recommend you at least stop in and visit it if you don't get a chance to stay the night. I would also recommend you check out the restaurant. It was very good when we stayed there and had a chance to eat. So I would highly recommend it. And that's your slightly more than 60 seconds of Stephen.